What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Rainnite Gaming. I'm Rainnite, and this is a deck for you people that love to control the board and crush your enemies. It used to be Gren Maju, but now it's just a bunch of crazy eights. First up, I had to go into the collection and pull out some of the nicest hand traps. Went from the normal 3 all the way up to 6. We could side in even more. Worked on my ratios to make sure that we have all the cards we need to break our opponent's board and swing in for just a ton of spicy damage. This is Crazy Eights. Let's see what we're working with. Right now we're starting off with 44 cards in the main deck. We've got 3 Gizmecha. This is just one of our best level 8s. Free summon by just banishing 8 cards. More free summons, because that's what this deck does. 3 of our Danger Thunderbird can take out back row or draw a card when he's special summoned. Along with that is his big boy, Bigfoot, big brother. Big. Danger Bigfoot takes out a monster card, or when he's special summoned, also gets you a card. And then their special kitty friend, Alpha Master of Beasts. This thing's disgusting, able to bounce things back and forth from your hand, works great with Kaijus. Speak of the devil, we run 6 Kaijus, 2/2/2, water, fire, and wind. You could actually change this up to 3/2/1 if you wanted to go 3 wind, 2 fire, 1 water. That's another good thing. Learned that from Yishan. He's awesome. I'll put a link in the description for his channel because he goes through the math on how this best works with your interrupted Kaiju slumber. But you want to make sure you have a bunch of these cards in your hand to destroy your enemies. Honorary Kaiju, you've got the Lava Golem when 1 Kaiju is just not enough. Our awesome castle combo here, we've got Glyph, Hexatrunade, and a second Glyph. These things search out the castle, get searched by the castle, and let you pop a ton of cards because Glyph can pop back row, and Hex can pop anything on the board, so she's amazing. Gets you that level 8 to keep in your combos. Honorary Crazy 8, Astral Karibo. This thing's gnarly. You just reveal a level 8 in your extra deck, he becomes a level 8, and he has awesome other effects that really are sweet. He's currently running 1 of the Gren Majus. He's a good win condition, but I may end up cutting him because we're just not using him. Getting into the hand traps, we've got Dimension Shifter. You drop this on your opponent's turn and everything gets banished, they usually just pass or put up a super lackluster board you can easily get through. Drollin Lockbird, another high impact hand trap that just crushes the soul of the person you drop on if they're trying to do any kind of draws. Perfect for our strategy. Golden Castle of Stromberg, this is the best card. It gets you your Hex, also gives you a ton of battle damage protection on your opponent's turn. Interrupted Kaiju Slumber just wipes out the board of all the monsters and lets you set up Kaijus how you want so you can make an even better board on top of it. We play a ton of level 8s. It's the namesake of the deck. You gotta play Trade In. I played it 2. You could pop this to 3 if you really wanted to. Monster Reborn is amazing. It works great with Kaijus. Any of our cards that are gonna go to the graveyard that we'd like back out to do our XZ summons. Because Shifter is a dead card in our hand after our opening turn, I play 1 Allure so it's a chance to get it out and get some draws. Foolish Burial is just a 4th Gizmech. It lets you dump him in the graveyard, banish 8, get him on the board. Free monsters all over the place. We hate the back rows, so we've got some removal. Feather Duster and Twin Twister. You could run more Twin Twister, or if you got the money, put in them Lightning Storms. Love that card. Hopefully I'll get one in here soon. Then getting to our extra deck, we got number 97 Draguglion. He's part of our 100 combo, just helps you OTK your opponent or set up a spell negate. Number 100 Numeron Dragon. For every rank on the field, he gains 1,000 when you activate his effect. It's for 9,000 right off the bat. Hope Harbinger usually just goes under 100, but if you do bring him on the field, you can negate and attach a spell card from your opponent. One of my new favorite cards, Dingirsu. This thing pops cards and lets you build on our spider combo that you're going to see at the end of this video. We got number 23, Lancelot, can let you attack directly and is a nice negate, but watch out, he negates everything. It's just the first thing that happens. Against any of those decks that really like coming out of the graveyard, gotta play one Sky Prison. This is actually one of our few going first cards that's pretty good. Hopefully you don't have arachnophobia because we're playing two spiders, Pain Gainer and the Seven Sins. This lets us get rid of a ton of monsters, hit in, and get into a really, really big AA Zeus. And we play two of them. AA Zeus is just gnarly, and we can make a easy 5 material Zeus, and just wipes off the board, wipes on the board, just locks them down, and it's really hard to get through. Last card in our extra deck, we've got number 22, Zombie Stein. He's just a real big boy when you need big numbers. There's one spot left in the deck there. You can put anything you want in there just to finish it off and make the deck your own. Ugh, all those cards look so good, but how do they work? How do you win? How do you do all the damage? I'm gonna show you. Let's do this. I'm gonna run through some of the cards and how they work, and then we'll do some test hands, just to see how consistent this baby is. First up, we've got the Golden Combo. We've got Glyph, Hex, and the Golden Castle. This is pretty easy. Glyph, you can pitch, activate its effect, and get your Golden Castle. That's gonna get you the Hexatrunade. Hexatrunade lets you pop anything on the board, face down, face up, doesn't matter. And also remember to read all of Golden Castle, because there's periods that say this is not once per turn on the damage stuff. Because if they attack into you, their monster get destroyed and half the damage goes back in their face. And it happens every single time they attack. Mwah. Awesome. Now, the Inner Kaiju Slumber is a little different than you may use in other decks. You're not usually going to give them the weakest monster, unless you're just doing it and gonna have a simple back and forth hit. You usually want to set it up so they have a monster that either has more attack or less defense than you're gonna have. And this boy has the wrong stats, so we're usually gonna give him to ourselves, which I know is kind of counterproductive. But you look at these, all of the higher attack ones have really low defense, and that's what we're looking for. Because with the higher offense, we can use our alpha to either bounce them back and forth or just get him as a free summon. Because, you know, he's got the 3000, he can come right out there pretty easy. Now, you do want to watch for the lower defense, because if we're using our spider combo, which you're going to see in a minute, you need them to have a lower defense than 2200. So if we go ahead, give them the Mad Kaiju, us the Water Kaiju, we can pop out the alpha, and then you can decide to pop his card if you want to, or you can go ahead and overlay and get into a little longer chain. We've got Dengirsu. On his summoning, you get to pop a card, so that opens him up a little more. He's got, you know, more monsters, at least gets down to 1. So if you don't want to pop it, or you popped something else, you can go ahead and overlay into your Pain Gainer, number 84. That has 22 defense, and you can then detach one of his materials, and that's going to destroy every monster on their side of the field that has less defense than he does. That's why you don't give him that Water Kaiju that has 3k booty. Then you can overlay him with number 77, the Seven Sins, and hit in for 4000 damage and any other damage you might have. Go into main phase 2 and go into your AA Zeus. And he has 2 pops now because you have 4 materials. And I'll tell you, 4 pops is kind of hard to get through if you time them correctly and they don't have any hard removal for them. But you can do a little bit better, making it a little spicier by moving backwards here in the combo a little. We're going to detach these and go right back to our Pain Gainer. We're going to assume that we're not using his effect. So let's reattach the alpha. So now we're sitting back at 3 attachments, and then we're going to have the 84. We'll then overlay into our 77. We would attack and then go to main phase 2 and then overlay into our AA Zeus. That gives us 5 attachments. So on their turn, if you use him twice, because remember, he's not once per turn, You still have one more. It does clear off the rest of your board if you had anything else. So when it's our turn again, we're gonna go ahead, change them to attack, hit in, and then we can overlay on top of that AA Zeus, another AA Zeus. So if they do still have life points, we have one more pop on their turn. And I'll tell you, 3 pops from Zeus, they're gonna be top decking for their life. Okay, let's get into these test hands. Test hands are really good to run just to make sure that your deck has the consistency that you need to win these duels. So if you're bricking a lot, you know you need to change up how your cards are, maybe removing some. I know I really want to get this deck to 40, and in my next profile that I put out for this deck after a while, I'll make sure I'm down there and I'm as consistent as possible. So we're going to assume we're going second, and our opening hand is Castle and 2 hand traps and 2 Gizmecs. As much of a brick this may look like, this is actually a really good hand because there's not a lot of bad hands with this deck. So on their turn, we're going to assume we're going to use this hand trap, and hopefully they would put out a lackluster board. Then on their end phase, we could go ahead and put out the Gizmec. You do want to be careful doing this because you may actually banish your targets for Castle. So, you know, live and learn sometimes. On our draw, we do get an Alpha, which is even better. If they've got any monsters out there, we'll be able to summon him. Gizmec's other effect is you can banish 3 of your choice from your extra deck and then pop a face-up monster. Remember, it has to be face-up or you're going to be popping your own Gizmec, and you don't want to do that because you can only use one of his effects once per turn. So we're going to go ahead and banish these. And then if they do have any more monsters on board, you know, we can go ahead and summon out the Alpha. And if they had multiple monsters, we could bounce him and bounce one other one back and him back to the hand and summon him back out. Just tons of back and forth for Alpha. So we did not banish our Hexatrunade, which is really lucky. And we're going to summon out our Golden Castle and search our Hexatrunade. You could also search Glyph. Glyph can take out a back row, but obviously we don't want to do that because Hexatrunade can get rid of anything on the field. Face up, face down, it does not matter. So, you know, we've already had 1, 2, 3 pops on their board, plus probably a lackluster board from having the hand trap on their thing, so they couldn't do any more draws. We're going to go ahead and do an overlay into another rank 8, and that's going to be going into Dingirsu. On his summon, you get to send a card to grave, and that's just another any card, face up, face down, doesn't matter. We're going to go ahead and go into our spiders, and say they still had monsters on the board after all of those pops, you can go ahead and do that, and any monster on their side of the field with under 22,000, going to the graveyard. Then you get to overlay into 77. You can hit in for a bunch of damage, and if they're still alive, go ahead and overlay into AA Zeus. This is going to get you 2 pops on their turn, plus a hand trap, plus Gizmec can come back from the graveyard. I don't think you're coming back from this one, boyo. Okay, that's just super good stuff. Let's do one more test hand, just so you guys can see that this thing is no one-trick pony. We're gonna see if we can OTK our opponent on our first turn here. A lot of people call it a cheesy OTK. I like to think it's a ton of skill. So make sure you do at least 7 of these shuffle cuts, because that makes it pretty random, and the more random our deck is, the better. So we got Alpha, that's awesome. Another hand trap, that's awesome. Thunderbird, awesome. Twisters, awesome. Oh, we pulled 2 of them in a row. That's funny. But it's not the worst thing to happen. So obviously, their turn, we're going to go and use that hand trap. And we've got a lot of good options here. We get our draw for the next turn, and it's Glyph. Glyph can get us our castle. We've got tons of back row removal. Let's just say they've got 3 back row. We're going to go and use Twin Twister, pitching our Birdie. The Birdie effect activates, so it's not just 2, it's 3 pops off of those 2 cards. Then if they've got monsters, we can go ahead and summon in and out our Alpha. You know, summon out, take out a monster if they have another one. If they don't have another one, you'd probably want to leave them on there. But we're just going to assume we can get him out there. Now you're just going to summon out your Golden Castle. And of course, you know from the last combo, Golden Castle is going to get us our Hexatronade, the deck mommy of the group. So we're just going to summon her out, and that's right, she's got another pop. So say if they had one more pesky monster that we used to be able to summon out Alpha, she takes care of it. Now their board's completely clear, and we can go in for the kill. We're going to overlay our 2 level 8s into number 97 Dragulagon. I can never say his name right. Dragulagon then activates his effect, and he's going to let you Xyz summon out level 100, not level, Numeron number 100 dragon, and this dude is awesome. He then attaches our Hope Harbinger, and when you detach, he gets 1,000 attack for every rank of Xyz on the field. So that easily pumps him up to 9,000, and you know what 9,000 damage does? It ends the duel. And even if they do survive it, we've got a hand trap for the next turn. So, not bad. That's it, folks. I hope you love this deck as much as I do. Go out there, play it. I'm hoping to take it to some locals here pretty soon, and I've even got some improvements that I plan on making to it. So I'll see you guys next time. This has been Rainnite Gaming. I'm Rainnite. See ya.